So, good evening, everyone. Allow me to welcome you to our fresh episode of Live with Nitin Shah, CEO, Institute of Clinical Hypnosis and Related Sciences, which we call ICHARS. So, to start with, let us just talk a little about relationships. Relationships, I think the word will, very soon land up in the list of synonyms of the word chaos because the way we are treating our loved ones or are being treated by them nowadays has a huge scope of improvement. And I think we lost connection.
I'm here, Nidhi. You can continue.
All right. So that is, the way we are treating our loved ones or the way our loved ones are treating us, that is a huge scope of improvement. And this improvement today in this life, we will look at by exploring the role of cognitive hypnotic psychotherapy in strengthening the human bonds, whether personal, professional, romantic, whatever ways we look at it. So let's dive in. Welcome. I will welcome Nitin. We are looking forward to all that you have to share with CHP in relationships.
Thank you, Nidhi, for having me here. Let me get myself on the screen. Thank you for hosting us and for taking time to have the questions ready so that we can go ahead and then we can have this interesting conversation about relationships.
Yeah. So first things first, we'll just start with the questions. Um, some people hesitate when they hear the word hypnosis. We're talking of cognitive hypnotic psychotherapy. So the minute they hear this word, they imagine it as mind control rather than therapy, or alternate ways of meditation, and all those things get associated with it. So, how do you address these misconceptions when applying cognitive hypnotic psychotherapy for improving relationships?
See, so first, hypnosis itself. One of the reasons why hypnosis uh, as a term is something that creates question marks, problems for people is because the awareness about what hypnosis is for a long time been very limited. A lot of people consider hypnosis to be a tool to control someone else. And then when we're talking about relationships, we're talking about a partner, so then it becomes even more uh, amplified that hypnosis for a relationship means that I'll probably be able to control my partner,
Right.
right? So that's one of the biggest myths and misconceptions that people have. There are times when people will actually call me up and they will tell me, Acha, I want my partner to do XYZ things. Can we use hypnosis with them to make them do this? And not just partner, I want my child to do this. I want my parents to agree with this, and all sorts of things. So, how you address them is you actually help them become aware of what hypnosis is, how it's a tool to help people get what they want to get, people create the change that they want to create, but a change that they are not able to create by themselves. And then there are examples that I'll give, and simplest example that I'll tell people is, has it ever happened to you that you were with your partner, you got angry, and later on you realize I shouldn't have got angry. I know I shouldn't. But the next time when I look at the partner, I get angry again. So I don't want to get angry. I want to remain calm, but I'm not able to. Now, this is what hypnosis can help people achieve. In the context of relationship, there are multiple things, multiple places where where hypnosis can come into play, but I'm sure we'll discuss that more in detail as we go ahead. Coming to cognitive hypnotic psychotherapy. So, what is cognitive hypnotic psychotherapy? Um, in traditional hypnosis, the focus is extensively on the unconscious. And most practitioners who are trained in hypnosis are not really trained as effectively in working with the cognitive aspects of the mind.
Right.
Uh, when I started working with clients, I realized that while hypnosis is incredibly powerful, most of the work that we do is with the unconscious, but you need the conscious to be on board with it. You need to be able to have tools to also engage the conscious, also understand things from the conscious, which were the tools that were traditionally missing from hypnosis. So with cognitive hypnotic psychotherapy, we began by incorporating both cognitive and hypnotic models together. But today it's an incredibly extensive eclectic approach that incorporates multiple other fields of therapy into the mix.
I think
Relationship
that,
being one of its major applications.
so. I think that is from there what you explained just now. It is from there that the tagline of ICHARS comes, bringing change unconsciously. Right?
So
Great.
the story for the tagline is quite interesting actually. We kept looking at what will be that one line in which we are able to capture the essence of the work that we are doing, right?
Right.
Um, and that the way it's written, and then bracket and then consciously and then bracket close. It just exactly tells us what we are looking for. That there is a conscious that makes the choice, and then there's the unconscious that helps you implement the choice. And that's the change that you're helping people create.
Great. Right. So, now delving into the area of human relations, can individuals who are not in therapy use CHP based techniques for self awareness or healthier interactions in daily life?
So till some time back, those who were not in therapy would not have been able to use it simply because these workshops that we conduct are meant for therapists. So for you to know the tools, you need to have attended the workshop, and you would have only attended the workshop if you were looking at becoming practitioners. So for a long time that was not possible. But now that we are in the process of launching our mobile app, the mobile app is a B2C app, which is one of the components of the mobile app is B2C, where people directly can subscribe to the app and then benefit from the various modules that are available on the app. And all the modules that we have added to the app are based on the CHP model. These are models that have been tried, tested with clients for the last 10, 12 years, maybe even more, not just by me, but by people who have been trained by us. And those models that we have consistently seen giving really good results have been incorporated as the component of the mobile app. So now, when I say now, probably next week onwards, anyone who is looking at benefiting from the CHP approach with but is for some reason or the other not able to visit a therapist right now, then the mobile app will be a good starting point. Having said that, the app is not a replacement for therapists. There are certain places where a therapist is required, right? So on the app, you'll also be able to connect with the right therapists who have been trained in the same models. So the app and the therapy together then becomes a cohesive, seamless tool that is available for you. But
So I
that
think
would be possible very soon.
the app would actually get that comfort level with the person. The person can understand what you do and then approach. Great, great. So coming to the next question, there is a constant complaint. If you look around, there is a this constant complaint from people nowadays that this XYZ person we talk, it could be a parent, it could be a child, it could be a partner. We talk, we say whatever we have to say, but we don't feel heard. And so once it happens, twice it happens, finally misunderstandings start piling up, and even when the intentions are good. So, how does CHP help people bridge these communication gaps and actually feel understood by whoever they are conversing with?
So when we say there are communication gaps, let's first understand what does a communication gap mean in this context, right? I want to communicate something to my partner. So I have a message in my mind. I know what I want to communicate. I know why I want to communicate. And I understand what makes this information important for me,
Right.
right? But when either I'm not able to express it to my partner at all, which can be one problem, and therefore there is communication gap, or second, when I express it, I end up expressing it in a way in which, for some reason, my partner is not able to understand what I am trying to tell them. Or even if they are making an attempt to understand it, somehow they are not able to get to the same core idea that I'm trying to convey to them. Right? So in case where I am not even able to express, I am not even able to communicate, and it could be for multiple reasons. It could be my own past experiences, it could be my own thoughts, my own beliefs that are preventing me from expressing myself clearly. Now, in that case, CHP will help you develop that confidence, will help you identify the right set of words that you can use, and will help you with mental rehearsal so that when you actually go and speak to your partner, you're able to say exactly what you want to say in the manner you want to say it, feeling what you need to feel so that you can express yourself clearly, right?
Lovely.
That will be one part of the story. Then is the other part that if I don't even know what I want to say to my partner, now why am I not sure what should I say to my partner? Because many a times, either I don't understand myself well enough. So you'll notice so many situations where people say that we are having a fight, I need to sit and talk to my partner. And when they sit and talk to their partner, they don't remember what they have to say. Because many a times we are thinking, oh, while we are talking, I will be able
Be
to
able
make sense of it.
to, yeah.
Many a times that's not how it works, right? Second, how you say it also depends on a couple of factors. There is one where who am I as a person? What is important for me? What are my likes? What are my dislikes? What are my expectations from this relationship? Do I have the clarity or not? And second, what are my partner's ways of understanding information? Do they like discussing problems immediately when the problems take place? Or would they rather prefer to have some time to think about it before they have a discussion? Does my partner want to clarify everything? Or does my partner want to just tell me the final crux of what they think? Right? Does my partner like expressing their discomfort by overtly verbalizing it? Or does my partner express their discomfort by not speaking at all? So, what happens is when two people are in a relationship, both of them have their own personality traits, both of them have their own ways of doing things. Many a times, we don't realize the differences between me and my partner, and that lack of awareness of differences creates a lot of problems. So, what CHP does to summarize this is there are different models that we cover. Those models are models that help you understand yourself better and that help you understand your partner better. The core models that we focus on are love languages, suggestibility, which is how we receive information. Are we more literal, more inferential in the areas where we have conflict? And sexuality, which basically covers three major components: how I behave in different situations, what are my behaviors driven by. Okay, some examples of this is some people are driven by attention, some people are driven by space, some people are driven by relationships, some people are driven by careers, right? Some people love expressing a lot, so that's their behavior. Some people express in little dosage of information, right? So we break behavior down in multiple traits, and then we explore how the two partners are similar in certain areas and there are differences in other areas. This clarity helps the partners plan their future conversations better. When I say partners, it can be when both partners are coming for session. It can also be when an individual comes for a session for a relationship issue. So they are able to plan their conversations with their partner a bit more effectively. Okay? So behavior becomes one major component of it. Then is money. How I perceive money and how my partners perceive money. What drives our financial decisions or decisions where we have to spend money. Again, how do we create an alignment between the way I want to spend, what drives my spending needs, and what drives my partner's spending needs. So that's the second one. And then third is the sexual compatibility. The how my body reacts during the act of sex, what happens, before and after, what are my preferences, what makes me uncomfortable. The same applies for my partner. So understanding all of that well, so that you are able to plan. When I say plan, not necessarily plan, but you are able to go ahead with that experience in a way in which it's pleasurable for both you and your partner. So this becomes sexuality. So the three core models that we focus on are these: love languages, suggestibility, and sexuality. There are other models that we may bring in, but that may be from time to time depending upon a particular client. But mostly these are the three models that we focus on. This is in terms of understanding. And then obviously CHP also focuses on helping people identify their past baggages and address those baggages.
Great. So all in all, what what the what is being proposed is understand your partner and then plan the conversations or plan whatever you plan with your partner accordingly, so that it's not just meeting your needs but also the other person's needs.
So, okay, so I'll put it this way: understand yourself first, understand your partner, be able to create a common minimum program that both you and your partner can agree to, and then take care of whatever it is that stops you from sticking to the common minimum program.
Correct.
Right? So, these will be the four major components of the way we work with relationships.
Great. So now that we are discussing challenges, one challenge with the advent of cell phones is we have over the board teleconnect. We've got
Mhm.
picture sharing, Snapchat, we've got text sharing through WhatsApp or Instagram, we've got video calling. It's too much communication. It goes good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And then what happens is these serve as little triggers, like a delayed text, a sarcastic remark, an unmet expectation, a story shared or not shared, a like given or not given, follow, unfollow. So, all of these, all such triggers, they have started creating an outsized reaction. How does CHP over here help manage these emotional triggers so that they do not
So,
damage the home?
so couple of things, right? One is when we talk about all of these social media based triggers, right? These are more generally that you will see between partners who are not living with each other, right? Because they are part of their engagement with each other is also based on those text messages that they're doing with each other. Probably they don't get to meet as frequently as they would like to. So a lot of these issues also are an extension of the fact that they are probably not right now together, because most people who are together, who are living together, would still end up saying what they have to say face to face, unless they have a fight and therefore they're using WhatsApp or alternate ways of expressing their emotions, right? But in general, by the time you reach a space where you're already living with a partner, these things may not necessarily create a problem, and even if they were to, by now you already know your partner enough to realize कि कौन सी पोस्ट पे लाइक करना है, कौन सी पोस्ट पे कमेंट करना है, कहाँ पे नहीं करेंगे तो चल जाएगा. But yes, in terms of people who are in relationship who are not really living together right now, then a lot of these things happen, because also in your mind you are not feeling completely safe, right? I'm not with my partner all the time. If they've not liked my photo and they've liked someone else's photo, are they with them, or is there something that's going on between them? So the fact that that commitment is not yet formalized has its own degree of insecurities that it brings in. Now, how does CHP address this? So when CHP is working with people, like I said, so there are two components to relationships, right? There is the work that you do jointly, which is to understand self, understand the other person, find the common minimum program, and all of this. And then there's the work that you need to do independently with yourself. So once I've created a common minimum program and I've agreed that the posts that I would send to my partner over WhatsApp are the posts that they need to go and like and comment on. Okay. Other posts, if I have not sent it to them personally, may not be important enough for them to respond. Now my partner has also agreed that वैसे I don't access Instagram so frequently, but if you send me certain specific posts कि अच्छा इसके ऊपर कर दो, so I'll take out the time to do it. Right? Now, both of them have agreed with this.
Right.
Partner one day does not send certain posts to partner two. So partner two doesn't comment. Not a part of the common minimum program they created. Right? And now the partner one gets angry. And then you will realize that the person actually in therapy also comes and tells you, I know I agreed with the common minimum program. ठीक है, एक आदि नहीं लाइक किया तो इतना बुरा नहीं लगना चाहिए. But I am not able to manage that. Now, while it's happening in the relationship, and the impact of this is in the relationship, this is really an individual's issue. This is a problem that I am facing because I am not comfortable with my partner not doing something which we have agreed is okay for not to be done. Right? Now the therapy will continue with me independently. Now, what would this therapy look like? So, whatever it is that I am bothered by, which strategically I had a solution for, but either I'm not able to stick to the strategy or I stick to the strategy and I'm not happy with the outcome. Then whatever are the thoughts, the emotions, the beliefs, the past baggages that are constantly playing up in my mind, they will all get addressed. Okay? And that's what CHP allows you to do.
Right. Okay. So, something else, which is again a part of everyday problems today, is boundaries. Um, there was a time when there was joint family system, which disintegrated. I think a major reason is because people did not draw boundaries.
Well,
But because people could not draw their boundaries, they could neither create their own nor could they respect the other person's boundaries, right? But today, too, while people have just shrunk with that one phone, one room, individuals struggle to say no to their partner, their family, or even colleagues. And as a result, at times they're left feeling guilty, drained, and whatever. So, how does CHP equip people to set those healthy boundaries um, without the fear of rejection or conflict?
so your question actually carries the answer, right? So you mentioned fear of rejection and
Conflict.
conflict. What CHP does is actually helps people address that fear of rejection and conflict. So conflict, I spoke to you earlier that we actually help people find out the appropriate ways of being able to communicate with their loved ones and be able to mentally rehearse so that when the time comes, they're able to say it exactly the way they need to say it. And that they are calm, they are confident enough to be able to handle anything that happens which they had not planned for originally. So that's how we address conflicts. Uh, and then comes the area of insecurity, right? Rejection. So most people are afraid of rejection before they've been rejected. And it's that fear of rejection that actually creates more challenges than the rejection itself. So once you help people manage that fear of rejection, once you help people address that fear of rejection, then their ability to go ahead and have these conversations becomes a lot more easy. So that's how CHP helps people address. How would we help them address that fear of rejection? It will probably be one of the following. Either we'll help them work with their thoughts, their beliefs, their values, or their past experiences that may be triggering these fears in the first place.
Right. So, where do you see CHP's role in future of relationship building and conflict resolution?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Where do you see CHP's role in the future of relationship building and conflict resolution?
So, so first we have to understand when it comes to CHP in relationships, CHP is the overarching framework that works with multiple things. It works with uh, your personal goals, it works with your relationship goals, it works with your health goals. So CHP looks at things in a very holistic way. Even when we are working with relationships, we don't just focus on your relationship. We also look at how this relationship impacts other areas of your life,
Right.
right? So As a field, it's incredibly vast. Relationship is one of the applications of CHP, a very powerful application, but eventually it is just one application of CHP. Where do I see
CHP's role.
CHP's role? One, in the coming days, because of the model that we follow, the structure that we follow, the fact that we focus on both joint goals and individual challenges the partners are facing, it's structured in a way in which you know exactly what you need to do with clients, and the clients know exactly what they need to do with their partner and how they can work with their partners more effectively in themselves. You will notice more and more people when they've tried traditional forms of therapy, which has not worked for them. CHP for many will become kind of the last resort. That now that we've tried other things, we want to try this. And once they start trying it, once they start getting results, over the next few years, you will realize that CHP will transition from being the last resort to the first resort.
Yeah, with the speed at which it delivers results, I think.
Correct.
So, with that, is there any advice that you would give to our budding psychologists or coaches who want to specialize in relationship building?
So, one, when you're working with relationships as coaches and therapists, understand what problem is actually a part of the relationship and what problem is really a part of an individual challenge, right? For example, I may say I get angry at my partner because my partner does XYZ things. And I may think it's a part of a relationship issue. But many a times, the partner, whether the partner does X or Y or doesn't do anything, I may still get angry, right? So while the impact of that anger is reflected in the relationship, it's not really a relationship issue. It's an individual issue of my own, because it's not that when my partner does a specific thing that I get angry, right? And even if the partner does a specific thing, I've communicated that to the partner, and partner has clearly told me this is not the way I'm going to change. Now I'm choosing to be in the relationship, right? So the fact that I am getting angry by consciously choosing to be a part of a relationship where I know what my partner's choice is that
Yeah,
really a relationship issue, or is it really an individual issue?
individual issue completely.
So one thing is this: how do you distinguish between what is a relationship issue and what is an individual issue? Is in relationship issues, the key challenge is that the client doesn't understand themselves or their partner clearly, and so they are not even able to devise a strategy to have a meaningful relationship with this partner. Once they understand the partner, in many cases, once they have created a common minimum program that both partners have agreed to, then everything that's stopping them from implementing this understanding about their partner into their life becomes a part of individual issues, right? And it's important to create this distinction because the format of the sessions become different, the interactions become different, the kind of processes you will use in a joint session and a single session will be different. So this understanding is very, very important. Plus, only because it's a relationship issue doesn't mean that all sessions need to happen with both partners together.
Yeah,
Sometimes, so that you can bring two people to a common ground, you need to be able to work with them independently till they are ready to come to a common ground. So, a relationship counseling would be a combination of joint sessions and individual sessions, addressing the relationship needs and the needs of individual both.
absolutely.
And lastly, if you are someone starting in this field, look out for cognitive hypnotic psychotherapy and get in touch with us so that you can enroll for the course.
That brings us to my next question, which is, and the last question also, which is that if somebody watching this live wants to begin their journey with CHP, what would be their first step?
So the first step is visit the website, check out what the CHP approach looks like, go through a few case studies on the website, then check out the course page, uh, see that the course meets the objectives that you are trying to achieve. For example, if you are looking at the level that course is too extensive for you, not meant for you. But if you are a psychologist who wants to be able to work with clients effectively, including the relationship issue, then that diploma will be probably the best thing you will do in your career as a therapist. Okay? And yeah, it may feel as if I'm boosting, but this is as humbly as I can say. Okay? Because that's how amazing that course is. Um, and once you've gone through those details, then connect with the staff. Uh, Let them know what your requirements are, what your questions are. I'm sure most of us are able to help you address your very your question. But if there was a question about a particular technique or a particular case, then inform the concerned person that are talking to in the office, and they will help you connect with all of them. And then we can probably get out, make a call and help you address what was that query. Uh, so that's the process I would recommend. Check all the testimonials that you want to check out your those and those on the ICHARS website or the ICHARS YouTube channel on Google or Google. Just check out whichever is the format, platform that you prefer the most, and you will realize we have uh, people vouching for the same thing that I said you.
Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of the session. I would like to thank you for these insights. With all that you have shared today, I'm sure our audience must be quite clear that CHP is not just about therapy, but about creating more conscious, resilient, and fulfilling connections um, in every sphere of life. It's not like you said. It's not just relationship. It's every sphere of life. So let's hope they are able to make some sense of it, and they are able to reach out and equip themselves to help their clients and even themselves. And for you
Super.
viewers, Hanji, please.
Dibuli.
So for the viewers, I was just saying that don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video to someone who you think would benefit out of it. And keep connecting with us every week for newer and deeper insights in psychology.
Super. And if you have any questions that you would want us to answer that we have not addressed during this live, please leave them as a comment in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to take that up later. There are a couple of questions. Sorry, let me also check that up. Both of you work extensively with people on relationship healing. What's one common myth about relationship that you wish you would unlearn? One common myth about relationship. Um,
One comment, I missed that.
one common myth about relationship. So, from my point of view, one common myth is that I can change my partner. Okay, well, I can literally change my partner, but not in the relationship that the partner changes their choices for me. The second is my partner needs to change for the relationship to work. Both of them are myths. That will be probably the way I would look at it. Nidhi, if you
Yeah,
want to share a particular myth,
yeah. I think most of us, our concept of our partner is that comes from the movies that we watch. So that Prince Charming or the Princess Charming is actually in real life is really different. So we need to adapt to that.
super, perfect. So, thank you once again, everyone, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you live. We will also have a Q&A with the eclectic interns on Friday. So if you have any questions about what eclectic psychotherapy is, how we combine multiple approaches to therapy, if you have a particular question about a case, feel free to join us on Friday, and I'll be more than happy to take up those questions over there. Good night. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.